to adjust the valves on a Generac generator. This is an 8kW, but it works all the way through 26kW, I believe. So first thing you want to do, pop the hood open, remove the cover in the front, turn it to the off position. You've got some screws that are 10 millimeters, so you're going to remove these screws from the cover here, up on top, 1, 2, there, and then down at the bottom. The bottom one's going to be of a golden color. You're going to remove those with a 10 millimeter. Once you remove it, you're going to get access to the pulley or the fan blade right here that you're going to be moving up and down the valves. After that, you're going to remove the valve cover. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's screws, same type of screws, which is a 10 millimeter. You're going to remove them. Okay, so remove them. When you go to reinstall it, make sure you do it by hand. Don't use the drill, okay? You don't want to strip anything out. All right, so you're going to remove it, set it off to the side. After that, you're going to remove the spark plug cap and the spark plug. You're going to remove it. The spark plug is a 5/8. Okay, at least for mine, it's a 5/8. All right, remove it. Also, now's a good time to check your spark plug, the condition, and the gap. For mine, it's a 0.20. For Generac bigger, I believe it's a 0.30, the gap. Okay. After you do that, what you're going to do is you're going to find something to put in the center. Use something that you know you can retrieve, so you don't get it stuck or broken, etc. All right. So I'm going to take this 6-inch, 1/4-inch extension, and what I did is once I found my top center, I put a little mark with a black marker. It makes it easier on my eyes to see. Okay, so I'm going to stick it down in there. All right. The next thing you'll also need is a wrench, 1/2 inch. That 1/2 inch is going to loosen the bolts that hold the valve, and that's 1/2 inch. And you're also going to use an 8 millimeter to adjust the valves. That's an Allen wrench. Okay, you're going to stick it in there like that. All right. So now to adjust it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the blade, turn it clockwise, and this is the intake valve, this is the exhaust valve. All right. So what you want to do is you want the intake valve to go down once, come back up. Then you want the exhaust valve to go down once, come back up. Once they're both in the top center, you're going to spin it one more time, so the intake valve goes down one more time, comes back up, and that's your top center. Okay, so let's demonstrate. All right, I'm going to spin the wheel. Also, my extension is going to go down, so it's going down once. Okay, the valve right here is going to be moving. Okay, so the valve is going, well, right now it's at the exhaust side, which is okay. You know, we got to wait for it. So let's, okay, there it is. Now it's moving. So now the intake valve is going down once. Okay, even my extension's going down. All right, the intake valve's coming up. Now my exhaust valve should be going down in a second here. Okay, it's going to be kind of hard to see on camera. Okay, exhaust valve is going down once. Now it's going to be coming up. All right, you are still not in the top center yet. All right, even though it looks like it, your valves are going to be tight. See, they're nice and tight right now. Don't think that they need to be adjusted yet, because that's not in the top center yet. So now I'm going to take it down one more time. So now my intake is going down one more time. And now it's going to come back up. And now when it comes back up, all right, the valve is up, and now the piston is pushing up the extension. All right. And now I'm looking for top center, or dead top center. All right. So I'm going to keep an eye on this. All right. It's coming up. It's coming up. Still coming up. and it's no longer coming up. It's starting to go down. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to barely wiggle up and down, and I'm going to look at my mark that I made. Okay, I made a mark with a black magic marker, which is right there. Okay, and I'm going to see how close it is to the top center. Another thing you can do is you can stick a flashlight and see the top of the piston. All right, you can see the top of the piston. That's right there. All right, so let's finish this up. All right, right there is top center. Now I'm looking at my marking, and my marking is good. And now we're going to check our valves. All right, see, now they're a little bit loose. Okay, they're a little bit loose, the valves. All right, they're no more, it's no longer tight. All right, so now what you're going to do is with this 10 millimeter, if you need to adjust it, you're going to stick it inside. You're going to take your gauge right here, your valve adjustment gauge, and for this particular generator, the specs are between 0.002 through 0.004. Okay, so I'm going to go in the middle. I'm going to go with 0.003, and let's see how off it is. So I'm going to check for it. And here is my 0.003. All right, so now I'm going to take this, and you want it to barely grab. Okay, all right, so there it is. Okay, it's going through, it's barely grabbing, so this valve is good. Now if I go to the 0.004, which is still in spec, should have a really hard time going through, or even going through at all. All right, so it's not really going through, that's barely going through. I have to really force it, so I know this is in spec. All right, same thing with the other valve. I'm going to stick it inside. Okay, and it's barely going through. All right, so it's nice and tight. All right, and once you're done, well, let's go back. If you need to adjust it, you're going to loosen this bolt up right here with a 1/2 inch. You're going to loosen it, and after that, you're going to use your Allen wrench, and you're either going to tighten it or loosen it. Very little movement on this though. Don't go crazy. Just barely move it left to right to lightly tighten or loosen it until you get your valve gauge to go in there. Okay, I typically leave mine inside just for a second here, and as I'm leaving inside, I tighten or loosen it to see how it is, and then once I get it where it needs to, then I remove it. Okay, and after you're done, you're going to tighten this up. You're going to tighten this up while holding your Allen wrench. Okay, after that, put everything back together and test fire it. So we're going to test fire it in just a moment. I'm going to reassemble everything. One other thing to mention is you might want to replace this gasket right now, the valve gasket, okay, depending on how bad a shape it is, and wipe it down. Look for also any debris inside the cover, etc. You know, just do a visual inspection. And I'm not a mechanic, I'm not a professional, so use your discretion. This is for demonstration purposes only. So let's put it back together and do a test start. All right, so now I'm putting it back together. Okay, that's there. I'm going to take it. I also have a piece of paper here with some notes. I put my history log on here. All right, so this is all done, and I'm going to take it out of the off position, and I'm going to put it in manual. It's cold outside. It's raining. I got a tarp up or a canopy up. Okay, so it's not going to start as if it was 100 degrees outside. It's going to take a second. So anyways, I'm going to put it in manual and let's see if she starts. We did it correctly. Nice and quiet. She sounds great. Make sure the motor's cold when you're adjusting the valves, and don't forget to put the generator back on auto.